Hi guys! Hello to all my lovely viewers out there. I hope that this new episode 8, I can't believe it's already episode 8, finds you well and that you have had a lot of crafting time during these past couple of weeks. My name is Elizabeth. You can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry as crochetcakes. We also have a Ravelry group for this podcast. You can search Crochetcakes podcast in the groups tab on Ravelry and you will find us. So please come by, introduce yourself. As a reminder, on Ravelry is where you will find the show notes for my episodes. Episode 7 onwards, you'll find the show notes there. Before we begin with any of the crafting, I have a bit of channel admin. The most important channel admin / announcement that I have for you guys is a crochet along. Now, I know that in episode 5, I had mentioned that I was planning on hosting a jewelry crochet along when we reached 100 subscribers. But I don't think I'm going to wait until I hit 100 subscribers. I wanted to start my crochet along now in September. And I've been discussing it with my mom, who is going to be co-hosting the crochet along. And I decided that the crochet along will be a gift crochet along. Specifically a Christmas gift crochet along. Why? Because I love Christmas. Christmas for me is the best time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year, as the song says. I love the food of Christmas, the decorations, buying gifts for people, just the general atmosphere that you find during Christmas, the music, the spirit, the smell in the air. I love, absolutely love it. In addition to that, as you guys have seen in my previous videos, I have been purchasing a lot of yarn. And I thought, what better use for this yarn than to make Christmas gifts for the people on my Christmas list. And so that is my goal this Christmas, to make at least one handmade gift for every person on my Christmas list. And I hope you guys come along and join. The C.A.L starts the 12th of September and it ends the 5th of January. So I think you guys have enough time to make your Christmas gifts. And the rules for this C.A.L are very informal. Basically, anything you start from the 12th of September, that will be a Christmas gift for any person on your list. You can include it in the Ravelry thread that I will be posting, which will be called the Gift of Giving 2016. And I view this crochet along as a support group for anybody that's going to be making handmade gifts this Christmas. I haven't decided yet if there will be prizes, but there probably will be. So yeah, I will be opening the Ravelry thread for this crochet along the 12th of September. Today is Saturday, the 10th of September, so on Monday, when hopefully this video will be up, I will be opening the Ravelry thread for the Gift of Giving Christmas C.A.L. Speaking of making things, I wanted to share with you guys what you will have already seen on the introduction of this video, which is my finished Hollyburn skirt. And this was part of the Hollyburn skirt sew along hosted by Katie from Inside Number 23. The pattern is by Sewaholic, if I am not mistaken. And this skirt was part of my cohesive wardrobe idea. It's just a kind of gray cream color skirt. The fabric is 60-40, 60% cotton, 40% polyester. And this was my first ever sewn skirt that has pockets and a zipper that works fine. I wanted to get a longer zipper, but I didn't, so I ended up sewing a hook and an eye to just close off this awkward angle that you guys see here. There are a couple of mistakes in the skirt, but I very much enjoyed sewing it. I think the hardest part for me was getting the band, the waistband to line up when I was sewing the zipper. It kept shifting. I took it apart 3 times. But this is the finished Hollyburn skirt. I will insert a picture here of what it looks like worn with the outfit that I wore it for work. Again, I want to make a Christmas version of this Hollyburn skirt because this was an everyday going to work version of the skirt, but my Christmas version will feature Christmas puppies. Yes, these are the pockets. It's the only part of the pattern that I've actually cut. And now that I mentioned sewing, this was a particularly productive sewing weeks. I finished my Hollyburn skirt, and as I posted on Instagram, I had too many projects on the go. So I also sewed in a new project bag for myself, and I'm quite proud of myself. I actually managed to match the fabric that all the mushrooms make a single file. Even here, which kind of cut into the mushroom, but they still match. And on the inside, put golden zipper. And on the inside, I've got a just stripe, green, white and green, and I matched it the way I wanted to match it because I knew I was not going to be able to match it stripe for stripe, but I did match it kind of like white, green, and inter like that. And I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. So this was project bag number 2, basically, because this one, which I also posted a picture of on Instagram, I made for my mother. She didn't have a project bag, and I was like, you need a project bag. How can you not have a project bag? And this is just some kitchen fabric that I had. Cotton, it's all cotton. And on the inside, I lined it with this really fun gold mustard squares. And the zipper is a blue-gray that matches with the little. So yeah, 2 project bags and a skirt all in one go. Honestly, the Hollyburn skirt, if I would have sat down one full day to just work on that skirt, I would have been able to finish it in 2 days, I think, instead of like the month I've been working on it. But the main thing is that the skirt is finished and I can wear it. Most important parts. And that just kind of brings us up to my crochet segment for the podcast, which is, what am I hooked on? I'm gonna bring out the mushroom bag again because what is inside my mushroom bag is, it's gonna fall out, my marigold sweater. This is a pattern by Rebecca Velasquez, which is available at the Quince & Co website if you're interested. It's a paid-for pattern. This is the front. And because of this green, I've called it my Lime Rita sweater. This is the front of my marigold sweater, and this is the back. I wanted the back to be one solid color, and the front is kind of like that. So, progress, I finished the back part for this sweater. Now all that I'm missing is this, to crochet the sleeves, and then sew everything together and weave in my ends because that never happens by magic. The one thing I want to change from the sleeves is that I find them quite baggy for the pattern, and I am honestly not a fan of baggy sleeves. So I was planning on making them a bit tighter around the arms. The yarn that I've been using for the marigold sweater is Sahara by the Plymouth Yarn Company, which is 40% linen, 40% bamboo, 20% silk, and Lino Royale, which is a blend of linen, cotton, and nylon or viscose. And I'm crocheting this using a 3.75mm crochet hook by Clover Soft Touch. So that is work in progress number 1. Work in progress number 2 is something that I haven't shown in a while, which is my circular bag. And my circular bag, there hasn't been a huge ton of progress on my circular bag, to be honest. But, where is it? Since I showed it to you last, I've done a couple of rows and yeah, this is the inside. I had it inside out, guys. So yeah, I've done a couple of rows, and I was using this as a stash busting project because I am not a fan of working with crochet thread, and specifically this crochet thread, which I believe is by Bernat. That's the only thing I remember. It kind of burns if I work on it too long. It burns, and it's not a pleasant feeling at all. I am using a 2.75mm crochet hook to work on this, and I don't know when I'll be finished because crochet thread, no matter how much you work, it doesn't seem to grow fast at all. It's kind of frustrating, really. It's like you're sitting there working, and then not working, not growing at all, I mean. The third project that I've been working on a lot recently is something that I am going to be wearing for Halloween, and it is the Mad Hatter hat. And I'll be using Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter for my Halloween costume. Last year I went as Alice in Wonderland, and this year I'm gonna dress up as the Mad Hatter. So I'm very excited about this, and my inspiration also to make a part of my outfit was to join the Spooky K.A.L hosted by K.A.L from the Little Bean and Me podcast, which runs until the end of October, I believe. So anything that you started in August up until October, you can enter in her K.A.L. So you should go join the Little Bean and Me podcast group and join the Spooky K.A.L. Her rules are quite simple. Basically, anything that is Halloween themed can be entered. So if you're using Halloween themed yarn, you can enter the project, and if you're making something for Halloween, you can also enter that. Making as in crochet and or knitting, I believe. The rules are in her podcast group. So, but if you can tell, the Mad Hatter hat is green with a black detailing. So this is what I am working on. It's a crochet top hat for my Mad Hatter costume, and it is black with some green yarn. I'm using 100% acrylic for this project, guys. It's Red Heart Soft in color black, and the Heartland, Lion Brand Heartland that I had left over from my fat bottomed bag. So it's the Joshua Tree colorway. It's a free pattern available at redheart.com. The pattern name is Halloween Top Hat by Sharon Mann. And I'm not giving anything away because, as I said, it's a free pattern. So you basically hold two yarns, worsted weight yarns held together, and you use an 5.5mm crochet hook. I'm just using Boy to kind of work your way around. It's worked completely in the round. There is no joining at the end of any round. And I've always loved this pattern. I had it in my queue for about 1 or 2 years, and I'm finally getting around to making it, and I'm very, very excited because this is, it's a very fun project, guys. My only issue is that I've always found it difficult to crochet using 2 yarns held together if I'm using a small hook. Like if I was using a J hook for this pattern, it would be fantastic. I wouldn't have any trouble, but I always find it's kind of troublesome to use a smaller crochet hook for your yarn, especially because I crochet so tightly. So when I insert it, I'm like pulling it out. I have to make an effort. But this, I'm in love. Right now I'm using it as a basket to hold my my yarn. So it kind of gives you an idea. Look, you can make a hat from the pattern, or you can just stop and make a basket. So there's that. I have one other thing that I haven't started, but that I plan on entering in the spooky K.A.L if I finish everything on time. And that is, sorry about that, guys. Kind of wobbled you there, didn't I? And that is a shawl. It's the C.A.L shawl by Joanne's Grace. It's a pattern available on Ravelry. I think it's 3 Great British pounds, so it's about $413 US. And the pattern includes for a shawl and a shawlette. I'll be making the shawlette because I only bought one ball of yarn, and this is very special yarn. It's, of course, from Little Bean Loves Hand Painted Yarn by K.A.L because I am obsessed with her colorways, specifically her Harry Potter colorways. Can you guys guess what this is named? I know, right? It is the Dark Mark colorway, and I absolutely love it. It does entirely remind me of the Dark Mark. It reminds me of the robes Voldemort wears, and the splashes of green that you have remind me of the 4th movie when they cast the Dark Mark onto the sky at the Quidditch pitch. That's a hard thing to say, Quidditch pitch. I don't know, I have issues. So the pattern uses DK weight and lace weight yarn. So I'm going to be combining this Little Bean Loves Hand Painted yarn in her DK base. So it's 100% superwash merino, extra squishy, with silky alpaca lace by Classic Elite Yarns. This is 70% baby alpaca, 30% silk. So it's not scratchy at all. Neither is this. This is like a pillow. This one is not scratchy at all. And this will be the border of the shawl. So I chose green because I like green and I wanted to bring out the pops of color from the green. So hopefully I'll be able to finish this in time to enter it in the spooky K.A.L, but we shall see. So that was acquisitions and what I will be making in the future all in one go. That is all the crochet I've got to show you today. So I think it's time to bring about Snail Knitting, which is the knitting segment of this podcast. And of course, I will be showing you my socks, which are living in my little birdie bag, which I also sewed myself. And the socks are the blueberry waffle socks, which are my raspberry waffle socks because of the color. And in the last episode, I had already shown you my whoop whoop half-finished object. And I had cast on 2 rows of the sock only. Look at this, guys. Completed my cuff, my leg, my heel turn, and I'm now onto the foot. Now, I did some super snail knitting on this sock because I wanted to see if I could finish them in time to enter 2 pairs of socks into the Bakery Bear Summer of Socks K.A.L, which ended the 1st of September. I kept the progress keeper to where I was at by the 31st of August. So, having cast these on Sunday and having this done by Tuesday or Wednesday, I was super, super proud of myself. I was like, I'm a super knitting hero for beginners, you know? So this is where I left off, and then I've been working on the leg slowly because after some intense knitting, like I didn't work on anything else except for this sock. I had a pain on my elbow, and so I stopped knitting for a little while. But I'm still working on this, and I do plan on finishing it soon. Maybe by next week, by the next podcast episode, I will have it finished because I plan on making a lot of socks as part of my gift of giving, K.A.L. I'm going to be making lots of socks because I've bought a lot of sock yarn. And yeah, in addition to that, so many knitting projects on my mind right now for some reason, and so many crochet projects that I want to start that I just want to finish everything that I've got on the go so I can start a whole bunch of new things. And guys, I forgot to mention another acquisition that I had this week. So the Dark Mark arrived on Tuesday, which was after Labor Day. That one arrived there. And K.A.L had a sale for Labor Day. Sorry, not sorry. I bought more yarn. This is, of course, her Wiggin' colorway in the Luxe sock base, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. I had bought one skein, hank, I should say, of this before that I showed in the last podcast episode. But that is okay, because this yarn is so lovely that I don't mind. Can I just show you these colors again? Aren't they just gorgeous? You've got some burnt oranges here. You've got this greens and some purples and more. This is my favorite section because you've got reds, purples, burnt oranges, the little splashes of green. And I can't wait to see what shawl I actually make. I absolutely, absolutely love this colorway. It's just the most beautiful thing ever. And if you're an autumn person, like you love autumn colors, I love autumn colors. Autumn colors, autumnal colors. What is wrong with my way of speaking today? You should definitely purchase Wiggin' because, as K.A.L so wonderfully pointed out, this is a repeatable colorway. And I could not be more excited that it's a repeatable colorway. I mean, ugh. Okay. I'm gonna stop going on and on about the yarn and just tell you a little bit about my week and why maybe my progress in crafting hasn't been that impressive. And that is because I've been very, very distracted by reading. I love reading. I don't usually talk about what I love to read because I have a very guilty pleasure. And even though I enjoy all sorts of books, I mean, there's of course Harry Potter. I've got history books. I'm a history major, so I do sometimes purchase history books and read them. Right now I'm reading The Plantagenets. What I read most often, and because they are fast, feel-good reads, are romance novels. Yeah. Guilty. I'm guilty. I am guilty of being a romance novel. Not addict, but aficionado, I should say. So I've been reading 2 books this past week. One of them is by an author that I really enjoy the way she writes, and that is Jennifer Ashley. And I've read the Mackenzie series of her books, and I've recently, not so recently, discovered, or, you know, read, because I've read, I think, almost every single one of the series, Shifters Unbound. And Shifters Unbound had a new release this 6th of September, so yeah, I read that one. And then I read another book that the title just completely escapes me. I think it was called The Devil's Lady. And it's as guilty as it probably sounds. But more than that, I have an extra guilty pleasure, which is fan fiction. I love reading fan fiction. Harry Potter fan fiction, to be precise, because I'm going to say this, but I know that a lot of people may not agree with me. I am a Hermione fan. I'm a Draco Hermione fan, and it never sat well with me that Hermione ended up with Ron. So, I used to read a lot of fan fiction about that. And as a side note, when I was in high school, I used to watch a lot of anime. The only anime that I currently watch is Naruto. And it's Naruto Shippuden, really, because it's the one that's still on. And I've been reading fan fiction about Naruto Shippuden lately, and yeah. And when I mean reading, I mean I've read completely. These are multi-chapter fan fictions, not just one-shots. I read 5 multi-chapters of about 20-25 chapters each, plus those 2 books. And I am putting this here as to remind myself that I need to finish Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I've only read Act 1. I haven't finished it. I don't know why I can't bring myself to finish it. I think I'm scared. I'm scared of continuing to read the book for some bizarre reason. I mean, let me just bring it down for you guys. Look at my cute little Harry Potter. I think it's the Firebolt. Yep, my bookmark. So see guys, I don't want to show you. This is where I need to start, and I can't bring myself. I'm so scared of finishing the book, but I will finish it because I owe it to myself, to Harry Potter, to J.K. Rowling, I need to finish it. I never know how to end podcasts, guys. I always find it awkward to start and to end a podcast. So I guess I will just leave you by saying this. Do not forget to go to the Crochet Cakes podcast group in Ravelry to join the discussions and to join the C.A.L if you're interested in joining the Gift of Giving Christmas C.A.L. And if you really liked the video, then please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will be seeing you guys in 2 weeks' time for more crafting, crochet, knitting, maybe some sewing goodness. Happy crafting, guys! Bye!